Boom, we're live.
Boom, we're live.
Let me take you to commercial break. All right, we're gonna get started. MMA Complete episode 31, and I'm pretty sure it's 31 because I think 30 was last week when we had the setup for this podcast. Because obviously we are 2 days away from UFC 258. That'll be coming to you live Saturday, February 13th at 10 p.m. Doesn't start at 10 p.m. It starts right around like 7 p.m. But we won't be going live till about 10, maybe even 10:30.
Is that the main card?
Yeah, that's the main card.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna be working. So,
oh, you are? Okay.
Right. So I'm gonna get
Speed
the fuck
at
down here.
very regulated speed.
Yeah, of course. You know, I wouldn't want to endanger anybody, but let's get the fuck going.
Yeah, exactly.
So we will be live streaming for most of the main card of UFC 258, headlined by Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. I'm joined by Mark. Appreciate you from coming. I am half asleep still. I just woke up. Mark was waiting here for like 20 minutes because I couldn't get my fat ass awake. But yeah, we're going to be talking about UFC 258 today. Not the biggest hyped up pay-per-view. Certainly not the biggest.
No.
You know, I don't know. I don't think I have seen a single commercial for it. And
Yeah,
whether it's because the Conor pay-per-view we're still kind of getting over, which is the case for most of these pay-per-views, especially a Conor pay-per-view.
They didn't even really advertise much for that Conor
they did
fight.
And they're not advertising. You know, especially now that football's over. Like, it's the only sport besides basketball going on right now.
Is hockey going on still?
I couldn't even tell you, dude.
Yeah, I don't watch hockey, guys.
I think hockey's still going on because I remember like a couple weeks ago, people were asking us about the game. Mm-hmm. Remember while we were live streaming? So yeah, I'm pretty sure hockey's going on. Basketball's starting to heat up, but UFC's been in the limelight for a long time. So I don't know if they really feel the need to promote the shit out of it.
Yeah, they're year round. That's the best part about the UFC.
Right. And I mean, you know, this pay-per-view is not as crazy as the last one, and it's certainly not as crazy. 259 coming up next month. But it's pretty huge. Like, the welterweight championship of the world's on the line. One of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the UFC will be fighting Saturday.
Yeah, one of the most dominant fucking welterweights in recent history.
Yeah,
Kamaru Usman.
You say dominant welterweight champions, you think a GSP. You could throw, well, Matt Hughes.
He was.
Was he welterweight? He
Yeah,
was welterweight, wasn't he? So you go GSP, you go Matt Hughes, and more recently, it's fucking Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman, number 4 pound-for-pound UFC fighter in the world as of this moment, and he has been UFC champ for the better part of 2 years already.
Yep.
Dude's 29. He's been champ for 2 years already. You know, he has a pretty firm grasp on that division. He got a couple contenders. This time last year, we were saying to ourselves, that division's a little more stacked. It's kind of mellowed out a little bit. The top 5 certainly strong, but other than that, it's not too much to write home about.
Yeah, not too many names heard about under that.
Right. You got Usman, who's obviously the best. You got Colby Covington, who has a great threat to challenge for the title again in 2021.
He's a total animal. I'm really worried about him.
Yeah, I think he's the best in that division. You got Game Bread, you got Jorge Masvidal, the hype train, who's also put up a shut up, and he's came out on top most of these times. You got Nate Diaz, who's going to be coming back. We don't even know what class he's going to be coming back.
He keeps calling out a bunch of 155 guys.
And he's saying, let's fight at 170.
Yeah, and it's odd. It's like, what are you doing?
Jorge even tweeted. He was like, I wonder what it'd be like to fight at my natural weight.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, it'd be
interesting.
I got some more rumors for that too. I think I put it in our group thread, but I'll definitely mention it again.
Awesome.
And then you have guys also at welterweight like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, like Jeff Neal, some up and comers, and then you have Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is the training partner, or the longtime training partner, very close friend of Kamaru Usman. They've been training together in
Was it American Top?
I think it was American Top Team for close to 5 years.
Yeah, wow.
And for about 4 months now, 3-4 months, Usman's been training in Colorado so that he could get a separate training camp. Gilbert Burns will be challenging for the welterweight title on Saturday. I think, well, it's such an interesting dynamic because we've heard reports that these guys have trained or have sparred something like 200 rounds in the octagon together.
Yeah, I believe it.
So it's
5 years of training, 100%.
Right. And they're obviously two of the best fighters at that individual camp filled with nothing but great fighters. American Top Team is. I'm going to make sure that is the correct gym because I think it is.
Yeah, as far as I recall. At least the one that Gilbert Burns is at right now.
Right.
But Gilbert Burns' coach was actually saying that he thinks Gilbert Burns has that fight.
Yeah, you were saying that. That's pretty crazy. What's up, Austin?
What's up, Austin?
Austin is joining us here. MMA Complete episode 31. Say what's up to the people.
Hello.
Okay. We're trying to find.
Okay, you cleaned up.
I cleaned that like 2 weeks ago. We're trying to
No,
find.
this is new.
Yeah, that's
No.
actually pretty tight.
Oh yeah, that's
No, it's not.
Want your spot right in the middle?
Yeah, sure. You can have that beer.
No, I'm also okay. Stomachache from Subway sandwich. Would you believe that shit?
With the tuna?
No.
There's no fish in the tuna. I'm just letting everyone know.
Sponsor us.
No. Yeah, sponsor us, whatever.
I would have totally looked this up before, but I was literally
This is
napping.
Yeah.
this is my Tom Brady remembrance because I
Oh,
got
there you
nothing
go.
else.
There you go. I got
Shout
the.
out
Where's
Tom
the
Brady.
All-Star jersey?
Shout
I
out
don't
to
know
Tom
what
Brady.
jersey is.
The GOAT.
He is the GOAT. Have to put that in there.
And
I
John
can't-
Jones is the GOAT too.
I believe John Jones is a GOAT.
Oh, I'm so happy that Dylan posted that picture because you guys are finally coming the fuck around. John Jones is the GOAT. I've been saying this
GSP
4 months.
Also the GOAT.
Well, it's just because of the drug thing, just because of the drug thing.
now,
That's
could you argue?
That's fair.
Could you
It's the
argue?
only thing I got against him.
It's
You
totally
could
fair.
argue that GSP is the GOAT because he's lost twice, but he's also come back and just smacked the fuck out of those people. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it's
and they
like-
were very early in his career. Those were like 2006, 2005
like
losses.
came back and slaughtered them. So
Oh,
it's-
the team of Gilbert Burns is the Black Zillions, and 2011
Zillions.
and
Joe's never had to do
2016,
that.
and Sanford MMA, 2017 and present.
Oh, Sanford MMA?
Yeah, that's for
Really?
Gilbert Burns. As for Kamaru Usman, we will find out.
Well, that must be it. Sanford MMA.
You thought Zach?
Yeah,
was
it's Sanford MMA.
No,
I
he
was
was
asleep.
asleep. He was out
I
cold.
was I was knocked until 7:51.
Damn. So we're both slacking today,
Dude. I was literally like, I get up, I look outside, I'm like, there's a car, someone just got here. Word. I try to come set up. I hear him knocking at the back door. He's like, yeah, I've been here for like 20 minutes.
Really? Dude, why don't you just walk in?
I thought you guys were out.
Because the door was chiseled from all the snow in the back of the ice, so he thought that it was locked.
Yeah, I'm not
He
going
didn't
to
even know if I was
yank
home.
his shit down and broke
Oh, I
doors
just
like
yanked
that.
it open.
But anyway, we're trying to find the gym.
It's Sanford
Right,
MMA
it's Sanford
for both of them.
MMA. Now Kamaru Usman is training for Onyx Sports for Jorge Santiago and Trevor Whitman.
Ooh, Trevor Whitman, best striking
Trevor
coach out
Whitman
there.
is training Kamaru Usman now.
That's
Boxing?
big.
Is he-
That's
is he
interesting.
boxing,
He's a
right?
striking
He's Justin
coach.
Gaethje's
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah, but he's in boxing.
I
Justin Gage. Oh, okay.
Trevor
he was
Whit-
on.
I'm
he
not
was on
sure
the
what
MMA podcast.
Trevor
That's how I know
Whitman
that
did.
name.
but he's one of the best striking coaches in the
Yeah,
game.
Trevor
He was on
Whitman
a
is now
podcast with Joe
training
Rogan.
Kamaru Usman. That is very interesting. I mean, I think we all were saying Kamaru Usman was going to win anyway, but that just kind of reaffirms it for me. I think, listen,
That fight, I think, is one standing up
What?
because they're both. Let's say,
I don't think it even goes to the ground.
Yeah, because they're both equal caliber wrestlers.
Hmm.
I'd say not based
Usman
on.
is the better of the two, slightly, but definitely better.
Yeah, in the cage when you got to worry about the punches and stuff, that can kind of come to chance.
Yeah.
We've talked about how these guys are best friends. We talked about how they're training partners. We talked about how they've literally had hundreds of hours in the octagon
And we've talked
against
about,
each other and together. Kamaru Usman was the official octagon trainer of Gilbert Burns in his last UFC fight.
That's crazy.
Like when Gilbert Burns was sitting on a stool getting advice, Kamaru Usman was going to give it to him.
Now he's fighting him
now
as a
he's
champ.
fighting him.
Kamaru Usman in a press conference said, "We both know who's going to win this fight." So
Kamaru Usman
I'm
said
leaning
that?
more towards Kamaru Usman.
You see, Gilbert Burns' coach, I read that, I forget where, so I guess don't quote me, but I read that his coach said that he
You
believes,
guess, don't quote you.
Yeah, I guess don't quote me. Going to be very, on and off.
Sure,
so
go ahead.
don't
Quote
call me.
him on a
But,
quote.
We don't got journalistic integrity here. This is a
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
Yeah, quote Mark on a
Gilbert
quote.
Burns is a coach, thinks that he can take Kamaru Usman. The former coach of Kamaru
Well, he
Usman.
has to say it.
Yeah, he has to say that now.
Yeah, but
He has to say that.
Right, but he does have intimate knowledge of Kamaru Usman. You know.
Because you couldn't have a better coach.
You
than
really-
Kamaru Usman's
5
previous
years
coach.
on that team.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
So yeah, I think that most people are saying Usman is going to win. I also think that Burns.
That's a chance. Yeah,
Well, not only that,
big
but
chance.
let's put it this way. All right.
The best chance, I'd say.
Out of
So-
anybody except for Covington. I don't know.
Covington.
Yeah, I think Colby has
Yeah.
the best chance of knocking off Kamaru Usman besides George St. Pierre.
If his
Knocking
jaw
out or
isn't,
knocking off.
if his jaw isn't held
Either.
together by a piece of gum
Knockout.
next time.
He
Either.
knocks him out or decision.
No, I think
I
he
think
Colby-
I think he
TKOs.
has to knock him out.
I
or
think he
TKO.
TKOs.
No, see, I think Colby
tomorrow.
is the only person in that division that's a better wrestler than Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, but
think he's the only
he
one.
almost beat him standing up last time. Like he stunned
Right.
Usman a couple times.
Right, and
Yeah.
I think that if he goes
Usman
to the
stunned
ground,
him.
if
Yeah.
he,
Broke his fucking jaw, dude.
That's the fucking downfall.
I think that if that match gets run back again,
I'd like to see it.
it's a decision victory for Covington.
No.
But we're not even talking about
I know.
that.
All right. So, what do you think?
Hypotheticals.
Over under. for this
Over under
fight?
for rounds?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely over.
We're talking about the Gilbert Burns and Usman fight, right?
I'm guessing the over under. I'm gonna say it's like 3.5. I don't even think it's 4.5.
No, it's 4.5.
Is it 4.5?
No, I should have said 4.5. But over under.
I think it's
4.5.
over. I think anytime Vegas gives you an over under of 4.5, they know that it's gonna go over.
Good old Vegas.
But this might not go over.
I think
If they know how to beat each other.
Well, you see, if
They're
I'd
also-
go under. I'd go under.
if Burns is a better wrestler, let's just say that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
obviously, from our
yeah.
liking of Usman, we think Usman's a better wrestler.
Yeah.
But either way, it could come down to just who's a better wrestler and who's going to hold the other man on the ground for longer. It's
Mhm.
kind of what both of them do.
Which
Then
is
I
what
think the
Usman
champ
did to
wins.
Masvidal.
Yeah, Masvidal really didn't have a defense against that
I
elite
think the
of a
champ
wrestler.
wins if that happens.
Yeah, I think we all think the champ's gonna win. We've been here talking about UFC 258, which
Ian
will be
Heinisch.
coming to you live on
I'm excited
February
about that.
13th at 10 o'clock p.m.
Versus Kevin Gastelum.
Kevin Gastelum's good, though.
The whole
Yeah,
fight
no.
will be live from about 6 p.m. We're not going to be starting streaming until about 10 p.m. So we will be here Saturday night to live stream that. Make sure you come check us out at SFBNRI. Check out all SFBNRI platforms: YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook. Check out MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube and Twitter as well. We're going to be taking a quick commercial break.
And all
We'll
that
be right
shit.
back.
All that shit.
What
We're
in this
back
dude's
live.
car?
So
What?
we've been talking about UFC 258. That will be coming to you live Saturday, February 13th at 10 o'clock p.m. We do, of course, have, as any other week, we have a couple other fights worth mentioning that have either been scheduled or are coming up soon. First, I just want to talk about this real quick because we've talked about it here and there. We haven't mentioned it too much, but it is the fight night that will be happening the week after UFC 258, and that is headlined by Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis. That'll be happening February 20th. The winner of the fight is going to be
Curtis Blades.
Curtis Blades.
Curtis Blades by a
Curtis
fucking
Blades.
long shot. And you
It's-
can bet the deed on that. Whoa, be careful there, buddy.
It's very likely that fight gets stopped, and it's going to be like a TKO win by Curtis Blades because
second.
Derek Lewis has gotten taken down 8 times in one round, and you just can't
Yeah.
stop.
Heavy favorite.
My
Heavy
balls are
first
stuck
round.
in my shoulders.
Yeah, for real.
My balls are sweating.
So I think that is almost a foregone conclusion. I love Derek Lewis, and I definitely don't want to count him out,
Should've
but
lost that
just the
fight, too.
difference in styles, it's going to be such a weird fight to call, or a weird fight to predict any other way besides Curtis Blades, that I'm going to say Curtis Blades is going to win. It's a story with all of his fights.
Derek Lewis knockout first round.
Curtis Blades is 14-2. In every one of his fights, he hasn't lost. He has over 5 takedowns. The only 2 fights he's ever lost were knockouts by Francis Ngannou.
Really?
Yeah, he lost to Ngannou twice.
That's a bitch.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Head movement's great. Save Stipe.
Dude, he had one knockout where he got hit like in the back of the head and he just fucking slumped like a
Dude.
tree.
Ngannou's last 3 fights have been under a minute, and his 4th fight is 1 minute and 18 seconds. So I give or
Is
take.
that right? Because he
Yeah.
lost to Derek Lewis not too long ago. Ngannou.
It's 3 wins in a row.
Oh,
under a
wins?
minute.
Okay.
And then it's what
That makes
and then
sense.
All by
4
knockout, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then his 4th is 1 minute and 18 versus Dos Santos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because recently he's had the win over Cain Velasquez. He knocked out JDS, knocked out Curtis Blades, and before he challenged Stipe, it was the fucking Overeem one.
Yeah.
Where
where he
Overeem got the
fucking-
uppercut from hell.
Yeah, he got his head sent into the sky.
He got his lip busted open like 7 inches or some shit like that. Ngannou's a beast.
People don't know how his neck didn't break.
We're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna
that's
see Francis Ngannou challenge for the UFC heavyweight title on March 27th in UFC 260, and we will be talking about UFC 259 and 260 because those pay-per-views are so stacked and they're coming up in the next month and a half that we already got to start talking about them. Because
Stipe's numbers already moved 25 points.
closer or farther away?
Closer.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say.
No, yeah.
That makes sense.
Ngannou's hasn't moved though. He's still at 1.
Yeah, Stipe came in the betting underdog.
Which is insane.
It's so insane.
Yeah. Wait, the second time
Yeah.
after winning the first fight.
When the second fight got announced, he came out as the underdog.
Wow.
The problem is
No faith in the fucking champ.
every time I bet the deed on the person that like has that one punch knockout power,
Yeah, it
they
doesn't
never
go right.
fucking win.
Skill
They
over
never
power,
win.
power over speed.
Skill always wins. It always fucking
Almost
wins.
always.
It
Yeah.
always wins.
Well, then there's
dude.
that miracle shit where you catch a foot and the dude does a spinning back kick to your face.
Right.
No, Stipe,
Which that won't happen to Stipe.
Not by Ngannou.
Dude, Stipe
Stipe,
needs
yeah.
to take this dude to the ground.
What if
He
we
will.
saw
Talked about last
What if
week.
we saw Francis Ngannou knock out Stipe Miocic with a spinning head kick? What if he gets like a 360 tornado kick and just
Imagine.
knocks out fucking Stipe?
He's got a whole training camp of Taekwondo.
Do you know how
that-
much fucking torque that man could get?
Oh yeah, you could probably get it, but it'd take years to master his weight.
obviously, of course. There was a tremendous podcast Joe Rogan did with Francis Ngannou. You guys
Dude,
should check it out.
he's
So
got a
nice.
story.
It
It
was
was.
so sick.
I don't want to go over it too much because I feel like we could talk about it forever.
We'd
But like,
spoil it.
right, we would spoil
good.
it. I don't.
It's good.
You know, it's all right.
It just well, I think the best part is how he got brought up. which we've talked
Worked in
about
the
on
salt
here.
mines at 11 years old. But
10 years-
that's
10 years
10
old.
years old. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's big difference. No, but that's Ngannou's story. Check it out on JRE. Yeah.
And he worked just to go to school, which is crazy.
I thought that the craziest part
I hate
was
going to school.
this man's UFC debut happened when he was 25 years old or 26, and it was almost 2 years to the day when he started training MMA.
He's just
He picked up mixed martial arts in 2 years to the point where he went to the UFC.
I really think heavyweight and maybe light
That's
heavyweight's the
impressive. Max
only
Holloway.
weight classes that's possible in.
Yeah, I agree.
What
You
do you
know,
think's more
when you
impressive?
have the power,
Yeah,
Max
when you have
Holloway.
power and a
that,
lot of
that
heavyweights
fucking X factor.
just want to stand.
Right.
So
Most heavyweights.
Yeah.
Long away are the days of Frank Mir and
Brock Lesnar.
Tim Sylvia
yeah,
and
Tim
Randy
Sylvia.
Couture and the guys that had a great jiu-jitsu background in
Even
the
Cain
heavyweight
Velasquez
division.
was a great wrestler.
Yeah, and it's so sad to see what happened to Kane over the years. Kane was like Verdun,
Yeah,
which by the way, we're talking about Bellator. Do you guys know about Bellator?
I haven't been keeping up with.
I think I texted you this the other day. All right, we're gonna talk about that next. But anyway, for the heavyweights, for like Francis Ngannou, imagine seeing. Oh, Francis Ngannou did fight Cain Velasquez. I was just talking about that.
Did?
Yeah, Cain
Jesus.
Velasquez didn't fight in 3 years. He came back to fight Ngannou.
Oh my god.
He chipped Velasquez in the first 30 seconds. Then, because Cain was so wobbly, he blew out his knee again, tore his ACL again. And then as he was falling back from his ACL, he got uppercutted and knocked out by Ngannou.
Oh my god.
It was so sad to see
That's
because Cain
horrible.
Velasquez is such a legend. Okay.
Did you share the breaking news too with Kamaev and Edwards?
No, I have not. I was waiting for you.
All right, let's do it then.
Breaking news about an hour ago.
Nothing.
57 minutes to be precise.
Nothing really new. Not really a news story.
Yeah.
Kind of just another repeat.
Kamaev. What is it? Kamaev versus Leon Edwards canceled for the third time.
Again.
Me and Mark were just
Third
talking about this.
time.
It's due to COVID reasons,
Third
and that must mean that Kamza has had COVID and he can't train because the fight's a month out.
Yeah.
It's not like this is a week and they don't want people to get COVID. No, it's a month out. He still had time to train.
This guy, I think he's running.
I think he is too.
I don't think he's ready for it.
He's
No, not
no,
at
I
all.
know he's not
Not
ready
at all.
for it. I know he's not ready for it.
Now I'm convinced he's not ready for it.
Right. All right. So yeah, Kamza Kamaev out of the March 13th or the March 10th
Possible
fight night.
replacements I put in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I like those.
Michael Chiesa and Stephen Thompson.
Yep.
Stephen Thompson, bigger name, more interesting, but I think Michael Chiesa is definitely the more
Just better
challenging.
fight, I think.
Yeah,
Chiesa did just fight though.
he did.
I mean, Thompson
Wonderboy
just
just
fought
fought
in
too.
December too.
Yeah.
He fought 5 rounds with Jeff Neal. So
3 months, though. It's enough time, I think.
well, it would only be 2 months.
No, because Edwards doesn't want to move. He wants to. He doesn't
Edwards
want
wants to fight.
He wants to fight.
Oh yeah, because it's April.
Yeah.
Or no, it's March. It's March
In
13th. I'm sorry.
January 20th too. Edwards didn't want to move. He wanted to fight someone else. And
Really?
They said no.
Yeah. Because Dana's holding him to it because he wants Kamaev to beat a guy of higher caliber so Kamaev can continue his reign of, oh my God, this guy came out of left
Hype.
field.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Dana White's kind of giving Kamaru Usman a taste of his own medicine.
Kamaru Usman?
I mean, not Kamaru.
Kamza Kamaev?
Long day.
No, Edwards.
Edwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
like,
he was holding out for 2 years. Now Dana White's like, nah, like you fucking made me wait 2
Now
years.
you
I'm
wait for
holding-
your paycheck.
Now you
Yeah.
wait for yours. You know what I mean? So that's definitely what Dana White's doing.
all right.
Give us the master.
Smash.
Bellator Light Heavyweight Grand Prix.
Yoel Romero at light heavyweight.
Yoel
Oh, yeah.
Romero
Yes.
versus Anthony Johnson happening. It is happening on April 16th, and it is round 1 of a 3-round Grand Prix tournament to decide Bellator's new light heavyweight champion. With also has names of. Let me find this real quick.
So is this same night? Grand Prix same night?
No, it's not.
Oh.
They can't do that anymore.
Yeah, concussion protocol and
Right.
shit. I thought it was going back to the old days. I was about
What's
to
the-
say, take the gloves off.
Plus, if they get one punch knocked out,
Yeah,
you know, then they
names-
can fight that night and be like, fuck it, let's do it.
So they're gonna have 2 fights on April 16th, 2 fights on April 9th. On April 9th, there's one guy's name who you could not give me enough money in the world to try to pronounce.
All right,
Can't do
well,
it.
try to pronounce it for free then.
Nope.
$5.
No. But he will be fighting Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson now in Bellator,
Yeah, really.
former top 5 light heavyweight contender in the UFC.
Really?
And
Did not
another
know that.
fight on April 9th, current Bellator light heavyweight champion Ryan Bader, who
Yeah.
after he left UFC was just fucking up Bellator for years, was fighting Lyoto Machida.
Really?
Ooh, okay.
Leona Machida's a bit
Old.
Old.
but he's still
absolutely.
good. He's still good.
So
He
this
is.
is why this makes sense why Yoel Romero went to Bellator now.
Yoel Romero at light heavyweight's gonna be fucking badass.
Makes
I can't
sense.
imagine where all the muscles come to, like how much more muscle you can put on that dude.
We're about to see when they inject some steroids in him.
Yeah,
Bellator.
All right.
No, I don't know.
he is Brazilian.
Maybe.
The last name of the guy fighting Corey Anderson is Yagshimuradov.
Yagshimuradov.
There you go.
That was your guy that you
So
said you
this
could
is
never
the
pronounce his
grand,
name.
Because you
light
haven't seen his
heavyweight?
first name. Yes, his light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight Grand Prix. for
That's gonna be
Bellator.
cool. I like that.
In the opposite side of the Grand Prix, Phil Davis. Phil Davis is still kicking around.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. He'll be fighting some guy named Nemkov. And in the other fight in the second side of the Grand Prix is Anthony Joshua versus Yoel Romero.
Looking forward to that one. I got you.
This is such a tremendous idea. Not only that, but it's such a great promotion that Bellator is running.
It's got you
Yeah,
talking.
like,
It's got you
there's
talking about Bellator right now.
A tournament's never really been
There's
done in the
6
UFC.
former, never done. And we were just talking about it so much with the lightweight division. We thought that it would have been a great idea.
Yeah,
Now there's
but Dana
6
White-
former UFC
Dana
fighters
White came
that
out today and said Khabib is the champion still.
You know
Yeah.
what? They could do that for Khabib's belt. That's what they should have done.
They can't.
Yeah, well, now that Khabib's still the champion, whenever he's coming
Continue.
back.
I don't know where I was now. But
Sorry.
the Grand Prix is such a great idea, and it's a great hype train because obviously Bellator is the UFC's ugly stepsister, and it doesn't get nearly enough recognition as they deserve, judging by the fact that
UFC's never had a
But our ass is kind of getting fatter.
tournament. That's where you were at.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
So yeah,
It was a
they've had a
tournament.
couple tournaments back in the day, but nothing in the last 28 years?
Yeah, 15, 20 years.
Well, you got to think, dude. Like, do you know? Let me ask you this, because we've talked about this maybe once or twice.
We have.
When was
1993.
UFC
Hey, what are you doing?
won?
1993. What year? What year's your guess for UFC 1?
98.
93.
Fuck. I was just guessing
Isn't that
because
crazy
that's when we were
shit?
born.
Yeah, I thought it was 98
93.
too.
Okay.
Like way back then.
And look at us now, 28 years
93.
later, and we're at UFC 258 coming up this weekend, Saturday, February 13th at 10 p.m. Check us out.
Check us out. 10 p.m.
Shameless plug.
Sponsor us.
And yeah, sponsor us. And yeah,
Manscaped.
Bellator is going to be, so the dates they have here are obviously not confirmed. Bellator streams right off of Showtime, by the way, not ESPN.
Really?
Well, Showtime does all the boxing cards.
That's
Yeah, I
Showtime
know
does
that.
all the
Yeah.
boxing
Well,
cards.
it's also on HBO, right?
I think it's just
I
Showtime.
think Showtime.
But I
is
think
like,
It used to
Showtime
be
is
on
owned by
HBO.
HBO.
yeah,
I think Showtime's owned by
I'm
HBO.
pretty. It's at least an HBO knockoff.
Right. Showtime's the one
Next
with
pick up those movie channels.
what was that
Like a
show?
Warner DVR?
Shameless. Showtime's Shameless. Shameless is Showtime.
That's where it was broadcasted from, huh?
So April 9th, April 15th will be the first two rounds. Or the first round, excuse me. The second round will be in July, mid-July, and then the third round, they're saying here, will be the final week of October.
At least it's all guaranteed.
The final week of October. All right, so I have to get one or two things out of the way first. I'm not sure if you've been following Bellator that much. I haven't followed it too much. All I can say is that Ryan Bader is the shit.
That's
Ryan
what it made
Bader
him
is
sound
like the fucking guy in Bellator. Like any division, he's like their number one. I think he lost recently, but he avenged it and he just beat
Better
someone
than
to
Michael
beat him.
Chandler?
Well, Michael Chandler's in the UFC now.
I know.
Right. Michael Chandler hasn't been in Bellator for like 3 years.
He hasn't fought in 3 years.
No, he was in Strikeforce for like a year.
Oh, okay.
So
Michael Chandler. Fighting Khabib.
Michael Chandler was the fucking man. At the same time, they were simultaneous champions in Bellator, but they were just light heavyweight and lightweight.
Yeah.
Ryan
little bit
Bader is
different.
the shit. He's gonna fight Lyoto Machida. He's gonna fucking choke out Lyoto Machida first round. Corey Anderson is really good. Back in the day, he was like Joe Rogan picked him as like a fucking dark horse of that division. And then things happen. He's not too promotable, so Dana White let him go. So he's now at Bellator. He's gonna win, take on Ryan Bader. That's gonna be an epic clash of titans.
So should we stream that?
Nah,
Didn't
maybe
even know where
we
you get
could.
Bellator.
No, we could. That's in the future though. I'm definitely let us know anybody watching this. Reach out to us on our Twitter, on our YouTube, comment whatever you got to do, and let us know if you would be interested in watching our reaction videos for that Bellator Grand Prix. 'Cause I would love to do it. I think that's a great idea.
Love it.
And then you got Phil Davis on the other side, who will be beating Nemkov, and then Anthony Johnson versus Yoel Romero. I'm of the opinion Yoel Romero is going to win.
I
think that Romero is going to fuck up Johnson. I think Anthony Johnson's going to throw two huge overhand rights and then be spent. And
get
he's
tackles in.
great, but he's 45 years old.
Yeah.
Yoel Romero's close there, but he's the spry chicken.
He's a friggin' nature.
He really is.
Mm.
So I think that we're going to see Ryan Bader versus Yoel Romero, and that is going to be
That's a good fight.
that is
You hyped it up for me. I kind of want to
great
see it.
fight. And I love the fact that Yoel Romero came up to light heavyweight.
Yeah, that's
Yoel
so
Romero
fucking
was
cool.
fighting at middleweight.
Ooh.
Now he's gaining 20 pounds.
I don't know where it's gonna go.
Speaking of that,
You
Israel
might not even have to cut weight.
right. Speaking of that, Israel Adesanya spoke up about his UFC 259 light heavyweight bout against Blachowicz. He said he's not putting on any weight. He said he's going to come in there like 185.
I don't-
Yeah, I told
I
you.
don't
I
think
said that.
that's
I called it.
too smart.
I
I
called
don't
it.
know if it's. I think it is. He's used to it. He knows what he's doing. He
Why
knows he's
change?
going to be faster than
Well,
Blachowicz.
we'll see where the power is, and we'll see how he can take a punch
Right.
from those big 205 guys.
But at the same time, gaining muscle wouldn't have affected his way to take a punch anyway.
Yeah,
It would have expected his
it's
power.
something in like their trap muscles. Because remember,
Yeah, but you can't add any muscle to your chin.
no,
At
well,
the
that's
end
a
of the
fact.
day.
But the way you take a punch, I remember Poirier saying at 145 he was way less able to take Connor's punch than it was at
Mhm.
155.
That's true. It's a good
And
point.
it's something I've heard routinely from fighters, so I kind of take it into account now.
Sure.
Poirier also said that if Conor finished, there was a point where Conor did hit him.
Yeah, he did.
And he saw the white light. And he said he could have finished him out there, but he didn't.
Yeah,
So there's also that too.
Conor wasn't.
And that fight is also scheduled too.
What's that?
What Poirier McGregor?
I was going to bring that up next time. All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We will be right back. We're going to be breaking news. It hasn't been scheduled yet. It hasn't been booked, but it's being talked about.
No,
so we will be right back to talk about that. You're watching MMA Complete. Zach Drapo, Austin Garvey, Mark Tosi, being brought to you by SFBNRI. Check out all SFBNRI platforms, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn. Check out MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube and Twitter.
Instagram. All that shit.
Instagram. Yeah, all that shit. All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back.
Boom.
Guys,
I just saw that ad for the first time. That was pretty cool. Check out Shock Factor Podcast. I'm not sure when they're online, but if you go to sfbnri.com, you can see when all of our podcasts are posted and all the times we have multiple podcasts. I think we're at about 22 podcasts now.
Yeah.
Check out all the articles and stuff that we have.
22?
Yeah, we have like 22 podcasts.
How many were there when we started?
Well, let me say this. We have 40 people on our staff now.
Wow.
When I joined, it was the boss, Ron, his media consultant, Laura, and me. That was it.
Really?
40 people.
And those those boxing guys was Ron's podcast, right?
Yeah, but that didn't come, like, those guys have only been on the staff for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Like when we went to the gym, they were like, "Oh, that looks cool. Let's do that." And then they shortly after that became part of the staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good idea. Good for
I
them.
am the longest tenured person by fucking like at least 2 months, and I've only been there 6 months. 6 months?
I'd say it's
No,
going
I think
quick.
it's almost 8 months now.
Yeah.
To answer your
SFBNRI.
question,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think maybe because Sarah Kaufman's a little bit old, maybe she's injured.
I don't honestly follow the pro fight league that
I
much.
just
I
Googled
really wish I should. I really wish I did. I should say. The PFL has a lot of good names. That's where Ben Askren got his start. That's where
Great name. Olympic
who else
world
came from PFL?
Olympic wrestler champion.
Really?
Yeah, Ben Askren.
Yeah, Ben Askren got to start at
And he's about to
PFL.
get his ass beat by Jake Paul.
Oh, okay. Can we just quick limit off that?
Yeah.
So I got mixed opinions,
Mhm.
and my biggest opinion is Jake Paul's been doing boxing for like 3 years now.
Give or take.
Yeah, he's had only a couple fights with a couple of nobodies who don't even box.
He's fought 2 YouTubers and an NBA an ex-NBA player.
And okay, so I remember his first fight with Deji. He fought Deji.
Yes.
Yeah, he looked like shit in that boxing match.
Right. That was
From
about
what I
3
saw
years ago.
from Nate Kaufman, though.
Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson. Sorry, thinking about Sarah Kaufman. He looked fucking good.
Nate
like,
Robinson
boxing-wise.
or Jake Paul.
The guy who knocked out Nate Robinson.
Yeah, Jake
Paul
Paul.
looked
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
damn good.
He definitely has his technique. He's
So,
a boxer now.
I
You know?
say
he actually
he's
is.
like a good amateur boxer.
Yeah,
That's what I'll call him out as.
Right.
He
Ben
definitely
Askren
practiced that.
is a great athlete, and I no, I'm not done.
Okay.
He's a great athlete,
He's a good
not
athlete.
physically fit at all. But I don't really see him beating Jake Paul. Like I believe that he will put in a lot of fucking work and actually get decent at boxing in 3 months. But his hands weren't even there in the UFC. So how are his hands going to become a thing in 3 months In boxing, which is a different sport, there's hip punches in boxing that you got to watch out for. No kicks, no takedowns to save you. If you get up on the ropes, what are you going to do? You can't go for the double leg.
Right.
So
I have a couple things to say about this matchup. First of all, I don't think he'll get gassed because I think he's been training cardio for the last 3 months, and I think that's all he's going to be training. Second of all, I have not heard about a fight as promoted as this one that I'm indifferent about as much as this fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting. I look at boxing now, especially with the Paul brothers, as just
entertainment.
That shit fell down and they're looking for anything to save the promotion. Which is upsetting because boxing is obviously one of the oldest art forms of fighting that is still in
50-year-old men in the ring.
Except for
That's why we have Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. That's why we have the best boxer of our generation, possibly ever, fighting Logan Paul. That's why
the only names that generations know, like all generations know, Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
half Roy Jones,
Muhammad Ali.
No, I'm saying like alive.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali.
alive. Okay.
I think Muhammad Ali is alive. He's just
he's dead.
Cerebral palsy.
No, he's dead.
He had it then. Okay.
No, he had ALS, dude.
Did he have ALS?
Yeah, it was from all the concussions.
So, I think that boxing is going to be forever reliant on, let's call it celebrity matches, which is what they are.
Celebrity boxing.
It for one thing, they are gravely dependent on Tyson Fury now. Tyson Fury is the face of boxing.
And
he's the only guy I'm interested to see. Anthony Joshua. He's all right, but I don't see him.
Anthony Joshua, he's good.
But a fight.
And if he didn't,
I don't see him beating
Fury.
Fury.
Get beaten by Ruiz a year ago, the fight coming up between Joshua and and Fury would be
huge,
really hyped.
It would be a very close, even like numbers wise. It would be probably
even match,
but just because he got knocked out by Ruiz,
and I'm not sure that it's not still a close fight.
I think
Andy Ruiz Jr. has been boxing for like 25 years.
Yeah,
and he's like 38. He's a big dude. He's a great power, and he caught Joshua. That really shouldn't take away from his legacy. It certainly shouldn't take away from his potential to be champ because Anthony Joshua is young.
He still had to make that punch.
He
still had to throw it.
Right. So he has the loss that Wilder never had going up against Fury. And we still, most people, when we see the Fury Joshua fight, whenever that's announced, will be saying, why aren't we seeing Fury Wilder? And I understand that.
I'd rather see Fury Joshua.
I don't know. I'd rather see Fury Wilder.
Why not?
I think I'd rather see Fury Wilder 3.
Joshua has that other belt. I mean, there's so many belts. I don't know. There's WBC.
There's too many belts.
There is too many belts, and that's why I'm not concerned about it. Like,
but
it's
a belt is
if he beats Joshua, he unifies the belts. Correct? At least that's from what I know of it.
Right, but it's not as simple in boxing because
I wish.
it's not like Fury has 2 belts and then he's going to get a third from Joshua, and then when he fights Wilder, they're all 3 on the line. It doesn't work like that. If he beats Joshua, gets the 3rd title, and he fights Wilder in the future, maybe only one of them's on the line.
Yeah.
It's different promotions. They don't have to say, "Oh, we're going to put our belt on the line."
Yeah, that's the
issue. It would be foolish of them not to, but they totally. And we've seen it before when. What the fuck's his name? It's not Lomachenko. When Fury won originally the heavyweight title in New York against the Russian. Oh, it's going to piss me off.
Yeah, well, because that's a heavyweight. That's not Lomachenko.
No, I know, but it sounds like Lomachenko. It's an L. And he was... Oh, that's going to piss me off so much.
But who do you got winning? Ben Askren or Jake Paul?
I told you. Jake Paul.
That's what I got too.
I know, just because...
Ben Askren's hands are really...
They're so fucking bad, dude. And what is he going to do with... Putting gloves on, is it going to make it easier?
No, it's not. It's going to make blocking a little bit easier, but it's also going to blind him too. Which in MMA gloves, it's not really. You can still see pretty good. They're small.
Be 0-2 in the UFC, and then you know what I mean. He shouldn't even have won that.
He got lucky. He got lucky with that Robbie Lawler fight. Jeez,
Mm-hmm.
Ben Askren versus Robbie Lawler.
Well, it's not like he was losing that fight. He wasn't clearly winning.
He was getting rocked up by
not at the end.
Robbie Lawler. Well, because the way he got Robbie Lawler down was great.
Yeah.
But
that's what I mean. It was in the second round. He still had another round to have to work with. It's not like he lost the fight. It's just questionable whether he deserved the victory.
Yeah, whether he would have won in the end.
Yeah.
But that schoolboy choke, that wasn't finishing Robbie fucking Lawler.
Dude, with a guy like Ben Askren with that fucking gable grip, I don't know. It totally could have.
Yeah, man. I think Robbie's too tough.
Listen, you could be the toughest guy in the world and get choked out by a jiu-jitsu black
neck
belt.
crank, though. It was a neck crank.
People go to sleep. Like
That's
that
Conor
that
McGregor.
shit'll happen.
Yeah, well, Conor McGregor
Got
fucking...
neck crank like Khabib.
He had his chin crank. There's a difference. Conor tapped because that fucking probably killed, man.
Yeah, he almost broke his jaw.
Yeah.
And then Khabib was calling him a pussy.
Jumped out of the cage,
For the
attacked a couple people.
For the record, the guy I couldn't think of was Vladimir Klitschko.
Okay.
But yeah, enough about boxing because boxing is
Not MMA.
it's
Boring.
just
It's not as what
it's
it was.
for celebrity fights. And when you have Floyd and Logan not even fighting, you're just not gonna get talked about.
Yeah.
So we could talk about UFC 259 if you guys are down.
Yeah.
I know we like UFC 258 is coming up this weekend, and everybody should tune in. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go over the undercard fights because we do have a couple. It's not the biggest, most stacked card in the world, but we do have a decent amount of top 15 fighters contending, which starts with, it's not the co-main event, but it is the secondary co-main event between Kelvin Gastelum and Ian Heinisch in the middleweight division. Gastelum 16-6, Heinisch 14-3. Gastelum the 3 years younger of Heinisch, and Heinisch barely has a reach advantage. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. I think. I got Heinisch. Just
That's a biased opinion.
yeah, biased opinion.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Have you bet on him before?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think Gastelum is, listen, man, he was the fucking interim champ when Whitaker tore his ACL. He's the only man in UFC history to drop Adesanya. He's the latest person in UFC history to win a round against Adesanya.
Yeah, he did.
Unless you want to say Romero won one slightly in his fight, but that's totally, it's not even fair to assume.
Boring fight.
And since then, he's gone like 1-2. He's just had slump after slump. He got knocked out once. So I would love to see Gastelum return to glory in the middleweight division. Not that that division needs any more top 10 people. Like the top 10 of that division is probably the most stacked of any division in the UFC.
Yeah, middleweight right now.
And Heinisch totally could get up there too. But I think Gastelum's going to win because I think Gastelum's going to throw a bomb that's just going to drop Heinisch.
That's fair. That's fair to say.
I will choose Heinisch. He's up and coming.
He's also 32.
He's-
Right, we read that,
He is
right?
42, yes.
He's in his prime, basically. And his last win was pretty freaking good. It was impressive. Like, he really didn't even get touched. So, I'm going to go Heinisch.
In the co-main event for UFC 258, we have a women's flyweight bout between Macy Barber and Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso, 15th ranked, and Macy Barber, 10th ranked.
Interesting.
And we've seen this over the last couple pay-per-views for the UFC, that the UFC loves to promote their women's fights as the co-main event of pay-per-views.
They're getting better.
They are getting better, but I would argue just this one time that it may not deserve the co-main event status because when you have a middleweight bout between the number 9 and the number 15, I guess it's really close because the number 9 and 15 middleweight
Whose name have you heard of more, Kevin Gastelum or Macy Barber?
Gastelum,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So
And you've heard the name Heinisch.
Yeah,
I've never heard the name Barber. I've heard of Alexa Grasso.
I've heard Barber once in a discussion, probably about betting.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
She was on the Khabib card we talked about, right?
Okay.
She busted that girl's nose up pretty bad. Doctor stoppage for the fight.
Oh, that's Maverick.
That was Maverick.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we'll be getting into that shortly. We do have Jim Miller versus Bobby Green, two absolute veterans of the sport.
Bobby Green coming off a loss, right?
I'm not sure, honestly. These guys fight so much I can never even remember. I'm pretty sure Jim Miller is.
Look at those records. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know.
Jim Miller.
Both guys have fought. Actually, Bobby Green's one fight away from 40 fights professionally. Jim Miller at 46. Both men, Miller 37, Green 34. I mean, two old heads going in there to slug it out because that's who Jim Miller is. He's a fucking slugger.
Bobby Green's boxer.
I think that's going to end in a knockout one way or the other. I would say that Green has a good shot.
I bet on Bobby Green.
Yeah, he lost that fight.
Yeah.
I like Bobby Green in that fight. Not too much separating the men though.
Yeah, I'll stand by him again.
Not too many names to mention. We have a middleweight bout between 7-0 Rodolfo
I thought
Vieira
that
and
said Aaron
7-2
Hernandez.
and 7-2 Anthony Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez is boxing in hell.
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez.
We didn't even talk about last week. We can talk about that real quick. Alexander Volkov knocked out Alistair Overeem in the second round. Corey Sandhagen had
did.
A
the
crazy
knockout of the year
flying
so
knee.
far
Flying knee.
for in round 1 against Frankie Edgar, and Clay Guida had a unanimous decision
UD,
victory
yeah.
over Michael Johnson. Holy shit, man. Is it like 2010? Clay
Yeah,
Guida
it's weird
winning?
as shit.
What the fuck?
Michael Johnson has the same amount of losses as Clay Guida. Wow.
He does. Michael Johnson has one of the weirdest fucking records in the UFC. Michael Johnson almost finished Gaethje. Michael Johnson beat Ferguson 10 years ago or 8 years ago. He was the last person to beat Ferguson until Gaethje.
Mhm.
And then he's also been stopped by these fucking nobodies all the time. Like, he has such an up and down career.
Yeah, that really puts
It's
a halt on
really
him.
weird. I had the graphics somewhere. I can't remember it exactly, but he has like 4 wins against really high level people and 4 losses against like nobodies.
Randos. Yeah.
Damn.
He's not very young anymore. I think he's like 31.
Yeah. Where does this put Frankie Edgar, you think? Does
Frankie Edgar's top 5 still. Corey Sandhagen's just a beast. We've been saying
Yeah.
that. Corey Sandhagen is the number 1 contender after Aljamain
He
Sterling.
did that in what, like 30 seconds?
It was
35
either
seconds?
Yeah.
it was
Like,
either 30 seconds
ridiculous
or it was
time.
the last 30 seconds of the round.
No, it's first 35 seconds.
Yeah, so it was 28 seconds.
Jesus.
28 seconds.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that was all over fucking Twitter.
Saw that
Oh
knockout
my
a few times,
God.
yeah.
And
insane.
Benil Dariush did beat Carlos Diego Ferreira. I think there wasn't any other big fights that happened last week.
And the sound of Volkov's punches hitting over him, though. That was kind of hard. Or that's his
I had
last
heard
title
that it
run.
was very upset. Yeah, it is over. I wouldn't be surprised if Overeem retires.
Now, Overeem had been doing good up until this point, but Overeem is just old, like a pride dog.
He's
Like, that's
he's
crazy.
41,
That's
but he has been fighting since he was 18.
yeah.
If you think about it, there's a lot of 40, 41-year-olds fighting right now.
There
Well,
is.
look at
I don't know if
Anderson
they're fighting
Silva
for a paycheck
didn't
or they think
retire
they can
until-
win.
Well, because that is a huge part of it. That 40-year-olds are getting paid considerably more than the 18-year-olds who don't have any
Clout.
to
Yeah.
their name. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we saw the Anderson Silva fight until 45.
Hey, you shaved the stash.
Anderson Silva's also Anderson Silva's fighting in Bellator, I think.
Yeah,
Rest in
I would
peace.
believe it. He didn't seem like he wanted to retire
Rest
after
in peace
that
to the
last
stash,
loss.
man.
No.
Which kind of sucks. I would have liked to see Adesanya be his last fight because that was a good send off.
Yeah, that was like 2.5 years ago too. It's so crazy. Who was his last fight? Uriah Hall.
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
Uriah Hall's not even looking. the
And he
best
was
now.
winning arguably through 3 rounds. Uriah Hall caught him at the end of the 3rd, and then the 4th round it was over. That was
Yeah.
upsetting to see.
I'm telling you bet on those people that have that power, that one knockout. Like you're just hoping for a prayer, I think, honestly.
Well, Anderson Silva's like one of the most skilled strikers the UFC's ever seen.
Yeah, it was
He's
he
just-
lost that fight versus Weidman, 1-8.
Yeah, I know. And that was his downfall. He should have. I don't know.
Who was
1-8.
Anderson Silva's one victory?
Weidman. Was it Weidman?
1-8
Oh,
after he lost to Weidman.
I can't tell you.
we
You know
talked
this.
about
Yeah,
it.
you
I
know
know it, but I can't think. Tell me. I'm not gonna keep the people waiting.
Trivia,
all
Zach.
way.
What is
Derek
it?
Brunson.
Oh,
And he also had a no contest against Nick Diaz.
wow.
All right, that's just going to about do it
You
for
think he
us.
returns?
Nick Diaz, no.
Yeah, I think Nick Diaz is done. I think Nick Diaz still has a bit of scrap in him.
Yeah, Nate Diaz has probably 2 fights left in him. One of them maybe with Connor.
Jeez.
Maybe.
Even Masvidal.
That should be his last fight.
Even Masvidal was
Oh.
seeing the end of him.
Masvidal will be great for him.
So we haven't had it booked. We haven't had a set date yet, but apparently McGregor Poirier 3 is going to happen this year.
Really?
Have you guys heard that?
2021. I haven't heard
McGregor-
that yet,
McGregor
but I
tweeted today.
believe it.
So Poirier and McGregor
tweeted
both
it.
said, I want to run it back like as soon as that fight ended.
Yeah, they did.
And obviously they made a shit ton of money, so why wouldn't they?
Exactly.
The only reason they wouldn't is because Poirier now has an argument to go for the belt. But if he doesn't care about that and he just wants to fight McGregor again and get paid, I wouldn't blame him. And it's been said that they're going to aim for it. Ariel Helwani tweeted they're aiming for it in 2021.
And Poirier is acting like he doesn't even give a fuck about the politics of the UFC anymore.
I know, which is crazy.
He's
and he's
got his own
been
things going
Poirier's been in the UFC for like 10 years now already. It's so crazy.
on.
He's like
24
32.
He was 24 when he got knocked out by Conor the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only time.
Let me ask you guys this. Does McGregor have a shot against Poirier again?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. If he presses the action more, and if he turns it, I don't think Poirier will go same game plan of chop down his calves.
I agree with you. I think Poirier will be much more aggressive. I think Poirier will be like, oh, like this dude's past his prime. He doesn't want to be in here. I'm going to fuck him up in the first round.
No, I think Conor, in order to win that fight, will need to be more aggressive because there was a time where I saw Poirier go like this. He got wobbled. If he would have charged him then, the fight could have been over in the same manner.
McGregor needs to be more light on his feet. If you see...
He needs to throw more leg kicks, dude. Not look like a boxer.
If you see that fucking fight, the second one, McGregor was flat foot the entire time.
Yeah.
He always used to have the hand out and going from
and
foot
fight
to foot.
center ring. Yeah.
But he used to be on his toes. He was flat footed that whole fight. You can't do that.
No.
You're gonna get your legs
He
chopped
was
the fuck
fighting
out.
center ring, but like
Where did he get knocked out against the cage? He should have circled out.
Well,
swinging.
that's not exactly true because he was pushing the pressure and then he got caught and he swayed to the side and then Poirier put him against the cage. Poirier was up against the cage until that happened.
From what I saw, Conor threw two kind of like looping hands where instead of just throwing out of desperation, he had the space from Poirier. That would have been his chance to circle out, but his leg was done. He said it.
Yeah, he was.
After like 3
He
kicks.
should have been throwing leg kicks.
But check the
in
kick,
the beginning.
apply the pressure, and stay light on your toes.
He said this is the worst part.
That's
is that
McGregor's advice.
he admitted that he thought he was checking the kick.
Yeah, but
and he wasn't. He wasn't.
You have to hit the bone if you're checking the kick. You have
I
to
know.
bone to bone.
He was like, yeah, I thought I was, and it still was hurting. So he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, honestly.
He'll. I got McGregor in that next fight.
I don't. I have Poirier.
Okay.
All right,
I don't
that's just
know.
gonna
I don't
about do it
know,
for us. MMA Complete episode 31 in the books. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you
Always.
everybody who viewed it. We will be coming to you live Saturday night, February 13th, around 10 to 10:30 p.m. for UFC 258, broadcasted live on all SFBNRI platforms. Also check out YouTube, MMA Complete Podcast, and our Twitter page. I put a bunch of polls on there. They're fun to vote. The latest poll was who do you think is going to win?
I
Usman
believe-
versus Burns.
Me too.
Usman did win with the staggering 4 votes.
From who?
I don't know. I can't see that.
And it's anonymous, guys. So
Yeah.
no shame.
So yeah, go check out MMA Complete Podcast, YouTube and Twitter. Check out all SFBNRI platforms and come watch us live when we live stream UFC 258 starting around 10:30 p.m. February 13th, Saturday night. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We're out of here.
See you.
Bye.